All right, y'all, welcome back. It's Albert LaBelle, and it's time for another product review. That's right, another product review for Lockpick Mall, lockpickmall.com. So, obviously, this is a Klom set, okay, as it shows right here. Klom, the brand of high quality, the K300. So, pretty neat case, I suppose. Kind of large, right? This one is the 29-in-1 lockpick set. It runs $49.98. Now remember, you can still get 6% off on this stuff that I'm reviewing, okay? It's not expired yet, so make sure you read the information down in the description section of this video. I'll explain all that, okay? So remember to read that. So, on their website, the technical name for this set, what they call it, and don't blame me for this, they got weird long names for all their stuff. 29-in-1 lockpick set, locksmith picking. That's what they call it on the website. I don't know why. So what is it? Let's dig in. Bam! How you like that for a set, huh? Double-sided wafer jiggler there. I was taking a look at it earlier and I counted 21 tools, okay, if you include this double-sided wafer type Reiki toolie here, and then 8 tensiony type tools, okay. A couple of them I'm not a big fan of, but hey, some people might like them, and that's these right here. These springy things, okay. These are actually spring tension tools, all right. I've never been a fan of these, but you know, hey, if that's your gig, there's a couple of those in there. All right, that one there. And by the way, they have names for all these tools on the website, but it was way too much for me to compute. So what I'll do is we'll run through some obvious ones that I know, and I'll leave a list of what they call them all at the end of this video, so you can check that out too. But yeah, it's just way too many. They got weird names for some of this stuff, so does not compute. All right, so over here on the left, we'll start, okay? So we got the really basic Z-wrench. You got your tension tools over here. So your basic Z-wrench, right? We've seen these a million times, okay? Got one of those. Now, this one here caught my attention because I really dig it. Not only is it kind of offset, so it brings it out a little bit. You see the shape of that? But this thing is nice and thick. It seems like I can never find a thick enough tension tool, and this thing's got some meat on it. So let's just break out the old caliper here, because that I didn't check. So it's on, we got a gnat. It's on millimeters, so let's just see. 0. So 1.7 millimeter, okay? Nice and thick. Like I said, I've got a lot of tension tools, but it seems like I can never find a really thick one. So I like that one. That caught my attention right off the bat. It's like, yeah, there we go. Got some meat to it. All right, so then we go on to just your basic, another one of them Z-wrenches, okay? Real basic. And yet another one, pretty much just like it, but twisted. Okay. What pros and cons on these? They are handy, but what I don't like is the fact that they are twisted and they do give. You see? Me, I like a solid tension tool because that's where you get a lot of your feedback. You know, because you're really picking with both hands. A lot of people don't understand that, but the tension tool matters as much as the picking hand. And for me, not a fan of those. But again, some people might like it. All right. Then I already mentioned the springy ones. Here's a different one. It's got a handle on it. This one's single-sided. Not a big fan of those. But hey, you're going to get it anyways. If you get this set, you're going to get it anyway. Now this one, I ran into a lock. I can't remember which one it was, but it was just recently, and I was having a heck of a time trying to tension that thing. And when I seen this in this case, I thought that was probably the tool I was looking for. You know, it'll tension basically from both sides of the keyway, right? Top and bottom, but stay out of your way in the middle. And I think this is probably what I was looking for. I was having a heck of a time with that lock, just trying to tension it, let alone pick it. And that might have came in handy. So it does have, obviously it's double-sided, it looks like. Okay, that one's just a bit more narrow. So same idea, just different sizes. But yeah, I bet you that'll come in handy. Alright, now we go on to the tools. So again, we probably won't go through every single one of these. We'll just kind of pick through a, get it? Pick through? Ha! Pun intended. So this is obvious here. Double-sided wafer, what I would call a double-sided wafer jiggler. I think that's what they're called. So basically for double-sided wafer locks. Just kind of jam it in there, give it a jiggle while you're putting some rotational tension on the lock. And if it's not a really, really good lock, it'll probably open for you. Very handy tool right there, believe it or not. So yeah, get one of those. Now let's just get the hook picks out of the way because I know there's only like 2. I was a little disappointed with that. Pros and cons, that's one of the cons. As far as hook picks, there's only 2. We got this dude right here and this dude right here. So you got kind of a low sweep and then what I would call on the top like a medium hook. Now, let me point something else out too while we're getting into these picks. These have aluminum handles. They're obviously sandwiched, but now the pick tip, it looks like it only goes to right here, okay? But I was checking them out earlier, and I mean, these things are solid, okay? They're not going to move around on you anytime soon. It seems like the aluminum, the 2 sides of the aluminum are punched out so that the pick tip sits in the groove, and then they're riveted, double riveted. So let's see if I can get a close-up on that. You see how the handles are kind of punched out? And then the pick tip will sit inside that pocket and then double riveted. And I mean, I've checked several of them and they are very, very tight. I don't see any issue with that. The handle is kind of cool because I hold my picks kind of like this because I like to get the feedback right there on my fingertip. So I'm usually holding them like that. So not bad. I don't have any issue with the construction and the handles. No issue at all. Let's check the gauge on some of these. Again, we'll just keep it on millimeter. Keep it easy, I guess. I am getting... Man, is this real? 0.5? Yeah, 0.5. Just grab another one of these over here just to see. 0.5. So yeah, 0.5 millimeter. Alright, so that's the thickness on them. Shove that one back up in there. I don't know what that one was called. Okay, so yeah, back to the pros and cons. 2 hook picks. I would really like to see more hook picks because to me, these are the picks. Those are rapid entry tools, in my opinion, okay? I know to each their own, but yeah, I'd like to see more hook picks. But this seems to be me like it's more of a auto entry lockpick set. So maybe you don't use that many hook picks in the auto locks, but that's what it seems like anyway. All right, so the 2 hook picks, bada boom, bada bang, right? Shove that back up in there, just like so. All right, so let's go through a couple of these at least, huh? So the obvious right here, we know what this is called. Boom. The city rake. Glad to see that in there, because I'll tell you what, y'all, I've opened many locks with this rake right here, the city rake. Very, very handy. Because, you know, a lot of locks, they just don't have, you know, when you see a key that's really flat bitting, I mean, this pretty much just copies it. So yeah, I've used this on many locks. Be sitting there picking on it for a while and can't get it, and I'll just shove this thing in there and the lock opens up. I'm like, oh boy. But yeah, very handy tool. Glad to see it in there. All right, what else we got? This one right here, I'm not sure what that is called. But they did number all these, by the way. They're numbered 1 through 20. on the pick. You see the number 1 right there? They are all numbered, but again, I can't remember what they call them all as far as names. This one could be handy because you got kind of a hook pick, and then you can flip it over and give it the old Reiki rake. So you got kind of 2 in 1 right there, right? Pick, pick, rake, rake. So handy dandy. What else we got? We went through the hooks. We went through the city rake. Again, another tension tool. If you haven't seen these yet, you probably live under a rock. This is very common for automobile, at least the door locks, because they got that shutter on the lock. So what this does is not only holds that shutter open, but also works as a double-sided tension tool, so you can get down in between there and rake or pick it. So very handy tool. They got little grooves on them so they kind of stay locked in. And then there's a thicker side here, a thinner side there. But yeah, these are very common for car locks. So obviously that's included. Let's work our way over. Oh, this one's obvious. We got the snowman. Seen that before. Why is it called a snowman? Well, there you go. Snowman pick. Handy tool. And then we got, let's go down. Oh, here's a funny looking wave rake. I kind of like that one. You know, when you don't need the really ridiculous one like this right here. Oops, wrong way. You know, when you don't need the waves really high like that, we got the low one. I kind of like that. It's a nice option. Nice option to have there. And we'll slide this back in there. And working our way over. Now this is a funny looking one. Kind of looks like a saw blade, but again, when it comes to rakes, you just never know what the lock is going to want. I mean, really, because rakes are luck tools. You just jam it in there, kind of have a mini seizure, and hope the lock opens. That's all there is to it. There's really not a lot of talent involved in raking, in my opinion. It's a luck tool. So as far as I'm concerned, the more shapes you got, the more options you have, the better off you are. So, hey, why not? Right? That's a why not tool. And then it looks like an exaggerated version of that tool, but with only 3 balls on it. Again, just another option. The lock might like this one more than the other one. Who knows? All right, working our way down. Now this one looks kind of familiar. I think I seen someone make a pick like this recently on YouTube. It looked pretty close to that, but I could be wrong. That's another one of those where it looks kind of like a pick and almost a rake at the same time. I don't know, but it looks like a claw to me. All right, look at a couple more here. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh, here we go. It's kind of another pick in my opinion. Like one of them reach picks, right? Yeah. That'll come in handy right there. And let's see. Oh, and of course they included a key extractor. Now, I was mentioning pros and cons earlier. This is a key extractor, they say, but not one of the better ones I've seen. That hook is very, very small, and the shaft is very, very wide up here. So maybe a little bit of tweaking on this thing, you can make it better. But yeah, I've seen better key extractors as far as I'm concerned. Not a big fan of this one, but I'm glad they at least included one. I had to use a key extractor just recently for a friend. Okay, and these last 3 over here on the end, those are basically dimple lock rakes. All right, we'll look at a couple of these. Bada boom, bada bing. So this one right here is something we probably see more common. It's just a Ripley flat piece of metal. So on a dimple lock, you just give it the old shimmy shimmy while you're putting rotational tension on it. And if it's not a very good lock, it'll probably open for you. but that's a handy tool to have right there. So I'm glad that one's included. But this one here, it seems to be the same type of tool, but it's only got some really low bumps on it. You see that? But hey, it might work too. Again, you never know what the lock's gonna want. The lock might want this one more than that one. So that's it. That's pretty much all you're gonna get in this set. The 29-in-1 locksmith picking tool set, blah blah blah, from Lockpick Mall, lockpickmall.com. So yeah, again, I'll leave the list what they call all these at the end of this video, so you can check that out. It might help you, might not. You still got to decipher which one they're talking about because they don't have them lined up with the numbers. That's why I got confused with it. All right, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope this helps. Remember, if you're not subscribed yet, and you do so because all the cool people are doing it and you don't want to be left out, and check it out. Remember to read the description section of this video to get 6% off of that. All right. Boom.